And the world of sports comes alive with great news, especially from Chan. Not forgetting the transfer window closing. And also we'll take a look at the all-important match. Newcastle having a victory and getting to the finals after years. Let's start off first of all as we welcome you to Breakfast Sports here on Breakfast Central. Ayem Mahious scored 2 goals as hosts Algeria hammered Niger 5-0 to reach the final of the African Nations Championship Chan on Tuesday. Mahious scored his 4th and 5th goals of the tournament in the first half to secure the emphatic victory for the Desert Warriors in Oran. Meanwhile, in the other semi-final, Senegal's Papa Diallo lone goal, his lone goal, that lone goal, that one everyone was actually counting on, was the match winner as the Teranga Lions edged Madagascar 1-0 to book a place in the final of the African Nations Championship Chan 2022 on Tuesday night at the Nelson Mandela Stadium in Algiers. The victory meant Senegal progressed to the first ever final in Chan, and they will face host Algeria for the finals, and the date will be February the 4th. So take note, today is the 1st, today is a Wednesday, you've got 2nd, 3rd and 4th on a Saturday, and you will be blown away if you miss the final. So make sure you stick to your TV sets and enjoy. Well, let's go away from Chan while we're celebrating our African teams and brothers who are doing amazingly well. Let's talk about something that's got Newcastle fans excited. Newcastle United will compete in their first cup final since May 1999 on February 26. Wow. Yes, the Magpies beat Southampton 2-1 at a sold-out St James's Park on Tuesday night to complete a 3-1 aggregate win in their EFL Cup semi-final. You can take a look at that picture on the screen. It was filled to the brim. Sean Longstaff scored twice inside the opening 21 minutes of Tuesday's game. Newcastle's last cup final appearance was at the old Wembley Stadium 3 years before its demolition. A team including the likes of Alan Shearer, Rob Lee, they were beaten 2-0 by Manchester United on that occasion. They don't like to be remembered. But this time, they are indeed excited. They have not won a major trophy since 1976. So if they win this one, it will be fantastic. Let's take a look at the EFL Cup results. Like I rightly said, it's a game that's seen them get into the final. Newcastle beating Southampton by 2-1. And you could say the final, I cannot wait. All the way from the EFL, let's now settle down and do what everyone is doing. Let's get into the business of the transfer window. The countdown was on yesterday. Were you counting down like I was? Well, the January transfer window has once again sent big-name imports into the Premier League, and the final hours of the window, we saw a flurry of deals take place. Now, Chelsea, the biggest spenders, they've spent more than the Premier League put it together, the Italian Serie A, the Spanish La Liga, the German Bundesliga put together. Yes, they spent more than all the clubs there. Chelsea spent big once again as a British record of $130 million deal for Enzo Fernandez actually was completed. While Liverpool signed Cody Gakpo and Arsenal added Trossard, well, don't forget Jorginho and Jakub Kiwior to strengthen their title hopes was also the hope for these clubs. Well, Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur made additions to deepen their squad. Top 4 pushes late in the transfer window, and there were plenty of late deals for clubs in the relegation battle as well. Let's give you a list of a few notable transfers from the Premier League. Let's start off with the big one, Chelsea first. João Cancelo, yes, of course, he was one man who actually was for Manchester City, and then he moved to Bayern. I'll be coming back to Chelsea in a bit. Let's talk about João Cancelo. Although he also, I told you yesterday that he had ensured that his Instagram account was indeed blocked. Many thought he had issues with Pep Guardiola. Well, the truth is out. He said he had no issues with Pep. He just did not have enough playing time. And Bayern promised him enough playing time. So he said, you know what, I'm going to go to where I have more playing time. And that's why he left Manchester City to Bayern Munich. Let's also look at one big one from Chelsea. I'm talking about Mikhail Mudryk to Chelsea for £100 million. Now that is a fantastic signing. He had a taste of Premier League football, remember, a few days back, and we saw what he could bring to the table. Anthony Gordon is not left out. He was for Everton, and all of a sudden Gordon decided to move to another club, and it was Newcastle United. That's where he went to. Touted earlier on to go to Chelsea, but didn't work out. Also touted to move from Newcastle to Arsenal and so many other clubs. But guess what? He finally settled for Newcastle United. Cody Gakpo, do you remember? Yes, of course, he went to Liverpool, £37 million. Unfortunately, he has not been able to replicate any of his strength. Yes, any of them. He hasn't replicated his ability to score like he did for his previous club, for Liverpool, and that's why you see Liverpool struggling to be either on the 11th or 10th position on the table. We also have Benoit Badiashile. Yes, he went straight to Chelsea for £35 million. His first game, by the way, showed that this boy has got potential, and I can tell you that it is exciting to see that. Well, Jorginho Ruta to Leeds United for £40 million, another player many were looking forward to see happen, and it did happen. That was good for them, and I bet Newcastle United were not quiet in this transfer window. They were mouth opened, swallowing everything they could get, just like Chelsea did. And talking of Chelsea, Noni Madueke, our very African brother, Nigerian brother, equally moved to Chelsea, and it was for £35 million. Good deal, great deal. While Trossard make that move to Arsenal as well for £27 million. Still staying in Chelsea, they also signed Malo Gusto, £26.3 million. Gusto was indeed signed as well just earlier this week. And then Dango Otara to Bournemouth for £20 million, and among others. But pretty much as we are excited, there are also areas we want to have a quicker look at the prospects. Deals that could have gone through, especially for African players. But I knew, and like you knew as well, in the Italian Serie A, they were not going to let any of their strikers and their main player equally leave, not at all. And in Chelsea, Ziyech deal to PSG to join the likes of Lionel Messi, Neymar, and you could say the one and only Ninja Turtle Mbappe. Seems to be a sad one, because Chelsea, according to what we hear, made a mistake signing the documents. There were indeed problems here and there, even though it was a closed deal, but it seems that it may not go through. So the Moroccan may be able to either count his losses and look forward to join PSG later on in the summer. But his hopes were indeed high. According to sources, even on Twitter, you find all of that story that he was looking forward to make that big move. But what has been the biggest transfer for you this transfer window? For me, not because I'm a blue, but definitely it's what Chelsea has done, ensuring that they have got a packed football team. Now, let me drop this before I pass it over to Osal again. Olive, guess what? Whether you like it or not, a few weeks ago, I had dropped a post on my socials. I'd said no coach would love to come to Chelsea. Why? Because there was a problem in Chelsea. The players were not performing. The coach was struggling. They were losing matches, and they were not attractive. They were not commercially viable. They were not beautiful like a pretty lady. But I can tell you this morning, Chelsea, all coaches will be hoping and praying that the current coach messes up so they can make their move to Chelsea, because guess what? That club is beautiful. That brand is nice. They've got great players. They have the fantastic things to do and all of that. So I think I'm going to end it on that note to say the transfer window was indeed good for the Blues, and Manchester United also salvaged the situation that could have brought them down to their knees and the likes of others. That does it for me from the world of sports. It's back to you, Sergey.
Well, I understand your excitement with the players that are being purchased, but most times these investments don't mature until about 2 years later, because currently this Chelsea you speak of is currently 10th. And I don't know if they will be able to, even if they buy the Avengers, it doesn't look like they're going to get into Champions League position. Avengers, X-Men, everybody, it's not going to work.
Wow.
But good luck. I'm excited, I'm excited.
Even if they buy the Avengers,
and
it's
X-Men,
okay.
not just the Avengers, and X-Men. Well, Joe, but I do respect the loyalty, undying loyalty that you have to the Chelsea Football Club. It's beautiful to watch in good times and in bad times. It's some form of a marriage.
Yeah, I must drop this very quickly, Olive. Looking at it from a brand perspective, let me talk about brand perspectives now.
Tell me.
Looking at it from a brand perspective, like I rightly said, some weeks back I had written a little article and said no one would love to come to Chelsea now, especially from the coach, being a coach. But right now I can tell you for free, it's just normal. Every coach will be watching Chelsea 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, hoping that the current coach will flop. And guess what? The CVs that will be dropping on the table, the post and so on, that, hey, I'm available. I wouldn't even be shocked when you see former professional or top-notch coaches also going to vie for that position to say, listen, I'm ready to coach Chelsea. Why? Because you do have a complete team on the pitch and also on the bench. So it works.
Okay, there's going to be a lot of poaching, a lot of shooting shots, not just for Chelsea, but for those who are celebrating Valentine.
Yeah, I mean, for Manchester United, it's okay. It's okay. They understand. It's fine. And Arsenal. Oh, by the way, Arsenal signed Jorginho.
Don't let Osage get started.
But hey, I mean, you know, so I understand it's new
We were
ownership.
so happy to let him go.
Yeah, you know, so this is what I want to ask. You know, I understand it's new ownership, it's new energy around Chelsea. There's a lot of spending. But do you think Potter would have lasted if Abramovich was still in charge? And do you really believe Potter would last?
No way. He would have been out the door, gone from the fourth lost. Bye bye.
All right.
Gone.
Let's hope that these changes actually do yield the influence or the impact that the Chelsea fans, would be expecting. We certainly wish Chelsea all the best this season and beyond. I guess that's just a good way to hang it on.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Joe. But
right,
it's okay if the day comes in the nearest future when we have to cry Chelsea tears.
I see.
Just know that we will not spare anything in drinking.
Osage, just take it easy. Breathe, all right? You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Thank you very much for joining us for Sports Update Show.
Thanks for having me.